So scheduling's never really been a thing of mine. I make plans, don't do it, whatever. And I recently purchased a 4K television. And I know you're thinking, Blade, this is a Sunday Chill commentary. Why are you talking about your goddamn TV, man? I got a whole ordeal, a whole process of picking out a fucking television and finally having a television. Like a new one, a new fresh one. You know what I mean? I did a previous video about this, and I guess it looks bad because I'm doing a commentary about televisions, but trust me, it'll lead into stuff. It'll lead into stuff. Don't you fret. But Sunday, it's weird, man, because I feel like of the shows I get off cable, I don't really like marathoning stuff, man. I like marathoning stuff, certain shows, but like a lot of times I have certain shows that I'm into that I watch, and we just have to fucking sit back and wait and do, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you marathon something, that you're not getting the full benefit of it because it's not something that's become like part of your life. All you're doing is you're just fucking cramming it into this one short experience, okay? I'll give you a good example. The show Breaking Bad. I watched Breaking Bad from episode 1. I happened to be flipping through the channels and I caught it and I'm like, this show's fucking dope. And so from day one, I watched Breaking Bad as it unwrapped, like, what was it, like 5 years or some shit like that? And I think like the last season, he fucking knifer. I think it was like the last season, you know, it got into a situation where, you know, a lot of people were like, oh my God, he's just such a bad guy. But it was such a gradual thing that as I got to know Walter White and as I got to know Jesse and as I got to know these people, I was just like, I wasn't even really tripping on it, right? But then people like to fucking marathon it, you know? So I feel like if you watch a marathon show, have you ever thought about this? Like, let's say you're marathoning a show. If that was a live show and you wanted to get up and like make a sandwich or something, you're gonna pause the show if you really like the show, but you don't do that when you're marathoning because you're just trying to get it all in. You're just trying to fucking just go through it. You know what I mean? Like, if you've ever watched something on Netflix, there might be a time when you're like, oh shit, I was on episode 2, but then I missed episode 4. Fuck it. I guess I missed a couple episodes. They'll catch me up. And you're not really tripping about it. So I'm not... It's the same thing with people. It's better to get to know them over time than it is to try to just squash every single piece of download information that you have into it. I'm getting too deep, man. I know that a lot of times people want to stay in the shallow end. I'm getting a little bit too deep. But let me get on this, okay? So the scheduling of it. Sitting back on Sundays, I feel like all my shows. Do you ever, like, when you finish a show, you're just like, fuck, I finished that. I'm never watching Breaking Bad again. Doesn't mean it's a bad show. I just don't think I need to sit through a long-ass episode of fucking Breaking Bad and watch him slowly. I am the one that not. And it's just like, fuck, dude, okay, we get it, dude. Like, it was cool the first time around, but do we really want to relive that? I think, like, it's better to, like, absorb stories and not to have to, like, relive shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the reason I bring this up and the reason why I started off this commentary about scheduling is my scheduling sucks, and it really, really stupid when they say, they're like, man, just do a goddamn Sunday Chill commentary already, Blade. What the fuck? So, what is this? We're Sunday chilling on a Tuesday. I'm gonna leave the Sunday Chill commentary thing up there, but yeah, I've changed things around. I literally am trying to do similar things that I repeated or did or schedules or whatever from back in like 2011 because that's when the shit was fucking dope, right? So I'm watching my new TV, right? I'm watching my new TV and I'm spending a lot of time watching it. And what I'm trying to do is I go through these phases where it's 4K and it's 3D, right? So in order to get the 3D, you need to have the Blu-ray player, a nice HDMI cable, 3D TV, glasses. and then like you have to have like a disc or something. So I got the Jurassic World, decided to watch that in fucking 3D, and it's just like you're sitting there and you're watching, and you're like, okay, this is fucking sick. This is what you work for moments like this where you're like, this is fucking dope, you know? And then like I'm going, okay, I got a new 4K TV. What can I watch this in 4K? And I find myself, man, watching like the only real stuff for whatever reason in 4K is like fishes and coral reefs and deserts and worldly shit and motherfuckers jumping out into waterfalls and like nature shit and like fucking, you know, reptilians and shit. So it's just like, but I'm not going to sit there and watch reptilians. The only reason why I'm looking at that is because it's the only goddamn thing in 4K. Like I said, let me get back to it. The reason why I even brought it up is because not only do you kind of reach a point like, okay,
our fat friend left.
We are picking when you have a new TV and you want to fucking do it, you want to like absorb it or whatever, you pretty much say, okay, what do I need to get this and this and this? And you get all these things set up and you're like, finally I'm watching 4K. And then as you get there, as I have all the things that, in order, okay, not getting deep, literally getting nerd technical on you. Currently at this moment, the only way to get 4K programming, there's a couple different ways, but the main thing is through like your TV, smart TV thing, where you can, you have like Netflix that's like part of the television, like it's in the TV, and you have certain shows, there's like 10 shows on there. Then there's like Amazon Video, and then there's YouTube, there's some YouTube videos that are done in 4K. So if you want on the TV, those are like your options, right? And just like, first off, like I said, I'm not watching fucking Breaking Bad, so I end up watching this fucking show called Bloodline, and I'm watching it, and it's in fucking 4K, and I'm thinking like, okay, I'm watching it, but then you realize it's just like, the content, what you actually see, it's funny to call it 4K content, because the 4K content, there's no real content there. I don't mean like there's no 4K content there. I mean there's nothing inside of it. It's a pretty pie, but there's no filling. You know what I mean? Like, because over time we talk about graphics. Graphics are going to get better and better and better and better. And when it's fresh and when it's new, you're like, oh my god, that's so dope. It's so new. I've never seen it so crisp before. I've never seen it so detailed before. I can see their soul. And it's just like, but, you know, honestly, why is the pretty 4K content, why is all that stuff, why is there nothing there as far as like a story goes? Why is there nothing there as far as like a rewatchability goes? Like, I put in Dead Presidents. And what you end up doing is you're not actually watching the show, you're watching how filthy your TV looks. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same kind of concept as you're not... I put in Dead Presidents, right? Dead Presidents, awesome movie. Not a super popular movie, so like the DVD version is shit. And I put that into a upscaling fucking Ultra HD Blu-ray player that will take the thing and fucking upscale it. So, I mean, I will admit Scarface did look pretty dope on Blu-ray when it was upconverted or whatever. But like, you know, it's weird taking, like, you take like, if you ever notice the stuff that's in 3D, the stuff that's in like Super Blu-ray, there's not much content to it, it's just really pretty. And then like I took a thing like Dead Presidents, which is a fucking amazing movie, where, you know, back in the day when I first watched it, I was like, okay, this looks nice, this is dope. But now it looks like shit. And it's just like, do we just go, okay, well fuck you, Dead Presidents, I don't want to watch you, because even though I know you're good, you're not the shiniest of things. You're not the brightest of things. You're not the fucking most detailed, most eye-gasming. I watched fucking Jurassic World. I couldn't tell you a motherfucker's... whatever the dude's name is. I couldn't tell you his name. I couldn't tell you the kids' names. I can't really tell you shit about that movie, except for it was fucking badass to watch. For real. I literally watched the movie twice. I watched it in Blu-ray and then I watched it in 3D, and I can't tell you a goddamn thing about that movie. I really can't. All it was me just looking at it going, that's fucking sick. That's fucking dope. You know what I mean? That's all I could fucking just think. I'm like, that's really cool. And I feel that what happens is that you...
I know, right? That's it.
So what do we want? Do we want something that looks amazing? Like, we can use this with games. Do you want something that looks amazing? Or do you want something that is amazing? Not necessarily the cosmetic looks. Obviously, as new games come out, they're going to try to have the best graphics possible. That's just something that's required. They call it like an industry standard. Okay? But, like, I feel like we're so focused on how fucking dope something looks, but not on the functionality of it actually being good. Does that make sense? I tried to watch Dead Presidents about 5 minutes. It was all letterboxed, and it was just like, no way I'm fucking watching this grainy piece of shit. I got a fucking 4K TV. But I've often thought, like, man, what if we do that same thing with other things in our life, where we go, okay, so we're going after the fucking prettiest, most eye-gasming, visually pleasing, encompassing. I've never seen some shit like that. It's so foreign to me, the beauty of it. But then, like, we don't even give a fuck what that beauty is. If you look at the fucking content that is available in 4K, I don't know I'm bringing this up, but you know what though? At one point, 1080p was the new shit, and the only thing we got, I remember being at Best Buy when 720p was the new thing, and they showed a fucking roller coaster fucking video over and over and over again. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. Let's watch this roller coaster clip over and fucking over and over and over and over again. It's just like, you're not really showing nothing. You know what I mean? So like, we get caught up in what's fresh and what's new to us when we're not really benefiting from the actual what's inside of it, if that kind of makes sense. And then we take actual good quality stories and we don't even fucking watch it because it's not the new pretty fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy.
I'm going to try hard.
And
I'm going to try hard.
I don't know. I just kind of wanted to speak on that because it's the same kind of concept with collections. Like, I used to collect DVDs, and it was more of this thing where I was like, oh my god, you have so, you know, people come over and they're like, oh shit, you have a fucking... Have you ever been to a house where somebody has like over 1,000 DVDs? I think that's so fucking interesting. But really, the thing is like...
I fucking love you.
Now, things are changed. Now, there's things like with a new TV and how we consume content. There used to be people with massive movie collections. There used to be people with massive CD collections. You know what I mean? People would collect shit that was dope. And they're not collecting it as a collector's item. They're literally like trying to build up a library. And now everything's fucking online, digital. And I get it, and we're going that way, and you're not going to make me spend money on a physical copy when I can download the movie or get it on Plex or whatever. It's just not going to happen, man. And it's the same way with the downfall of fucking music.
Oh my god, Blade, you're fucking
there's still some dope-ass music, man. When people still stay focused, they still make some dope music, man. When people still put all the outside bullshit aside, they might have the cameras and do all the stuff to make a dope-ass movie. But they're not worried to make about the prettiest thing. They still want to make it look pretty. They still want to make it, you know, look nice. Shit like that.
I love Blade.
But, like, we forget. They feel like it's just this cookie cutter thing. They're like, okay, this is the best thing. We do this. We just film this. And we do that. And just like,
2x4.
the only thing that really fucking lasts is stories and impressions that you leave on people. That's the only real thing that fucking lasts, not how fucking pretty it is. And so I kind of took a step back and realized, I'm like, I'm watching fucking fishes, bro. I don't give a damn about fish. I don't even like fish. People be like, I think a fish tank would look dope in a house. I've always thought fish tanks were awesome looking, but at the same time, I'm like, fish tanks stink. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fucking walk up there and look at some fish and be like, oh, you're some fish? Yeah, there you go. What? No. Same kind of concept. like when I was over at this dude's house and we were watching fucking like we were doing something, we were just watching the news, seeing what's new in the world. And this guy had over 1,000 fucking DVDs. And I'm thinking, like, you're not actually watching that. You just want to have that so you can look at it and be like, oh my god, look how many fucking DVDs. Look at how I've painted my wall with randomness. If that makes sense.
Oh, dude, Jojo, that's awesome.